Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Episode number 427, Drink It Till You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. Let me go ahead and start off with what I'm drinking. This is my version of a daiquiri, even though it did turn out a little more melted than I wanted. It's more just like juice at this point. But I basically did Body Armor, which is very hydrating. 100 proof rum, my Captain Morgan. And I did a little bit of frozen fruit down at the bottom, which is like blueberries, cherries, strawberries, and I think even possibly cranberries in there. But yeah, so far so good. That's what I'm drinking for this episode. If you got them drinking, bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. And yeah, this is my second drink so far today. I woke up, had breakfast, I had a terrible headache when I woke up. I'm not really sure where it came from. But I had an On the Rocks little mixed drink. They call them On the Rocks. But I had the old-fashioned version of theirs with my breakfast, which has really helped my headache. And moving on to this second drink. And I think I saw something about Tiger Woods right before I started this episode. I really haven't been paying attention to social media really this week, and we'll get into why here in a little bit. Just a busy week earlier this week. So yeah, just log on today and I see something about everybody's, of course, using his image to make jokes and stuff, and they're showing him in the back of the car. It's like, dude, let me go ahead and say this from the start of the episode, and this will bleed right into my, what happened to me earlier this week. Don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a DoorDash. You don't even have to go anywhere at that point. Treat yourself to a Waymo if it's in your area. I'm still waiting to see if Waymo's ready here in Dallas, and that's just the autonomous taxi service, which is really cool, I think, as long as it doesn't, I don't think it goes on the highway. I think it just stays on residential. So the worst you could really expect, I would think, would be just the little fender bender if the Waymo, goes off the rails. So anyway, I'll just never understand these people with just enormous amounts of... I was just talking to my friend about that. I've said this a million times on the podcast. I was just telling my friend about this the other day. I'll never understand it. You have all these resources, and not only do you have all these resources, you have all the money in the world to pay for them. You know what I mean? I get wanting to drive yourself, and maybe you just got the latest Corvette. I don't know. I get that, but there, time and place, man. Don't take the Corvette out to go drinking. I actually don't know what he got pulled over in. I just saw it and was like, Jesus Christ, man. When will these people learn? It's really not hard. If anything, if I had his money, maybe let's not say I earned it by golfing because I suck at golf. If I had his money, I would never drive myself again anywhere. Maybe if I got a Corvette, I would drive up and down the street and try to feel cool. You know what I mean? But other than that, dude, that actually just adds to the experience for me. Yeah, I don't want to bar hop by getting in my car every time and driving to the next bar. No, somebody will do that for me. That's even better. And on top of it, if you have that level of income, you can probably afford something super nice. You know what I mean? Like a limo to drop you off, with people planted there to party in the back with you until to make it fun until you reach your next destination. I don't know. Who knows what kind of accommodations those services have. But anyways, the point being, it's actually more fun to not have to deal with the responsibility of driving, I would think. But apparently not. I mean, look at Justin Timberlake. He got busted Tiger Woods, he just got busted. It's like, dude, I don't get it, man. I'll never get it. These aren't stupid people. You know what I mean? Maybe they're egotistical people. Maybe that's the issue. No, I'll drive. I got it. I'll do it myself. I was like, bro, you're good with the golf club. Remember that. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, just it baffles me. It blows my mind. Let's go ahead and have another drink. Cheers, everybody. So moving on, I got to tell you guys, I am 100% recovering from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. This was not your average go to the office, do your job week for me. This involved a convention. This involved, obviously talking to clients, going out to eat, So I'll kind of give you the rundown of just the fantastic. By the way, it seems like I'm complaining right now, like I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired, but no, it was one of the funnest times I've probably had in the past year. You know what I mean? Like, I've become more at my seasoning age. I've become more of a recluse. I love to go to work. I love to just come home and lay in my bed and watch all my sports. I'm watching NASCAR right now, by the way. We need Christopher Bell to get some good points here today. He's starting off in 11th. Anyways, but yeah, I'm not complaining is basically what I'm trying to say. I had a fantastic time. It just is exhausting, you know what I mean? So just everything I just gave you, you can kind of picture the dealings that might happen over the course of the night. The convention ends. Everybody's tired of talking business. They're ready to go wind down. This happened to be here in Dallas, so, I know a little bit more of the hot spots, you could say. So Monday, after the convention, we're like, yeah, let's go to the Mavericks game. And I'm like, it's kind of like that thing. As you guys know, if you've been listening for the past couple of weeks, I'm not a Mavericks fan anymore. I've been a Mavericks fan my entire life, up until they traded Luka. And the only thing that'll bring me back to the Mavericks is for management to be gone. I see they just fired Jason Kidd, and I know they fired Nico. But that group of management, they need to go. Whatever their last name is, that family, they got to go. Once they're gone, I will 100% wholeheartedly be back just like I was before. But until then, I'm not. So I've jumped on the Oklahoma City Thunder bandwagon. Lucky for me, they won the championship last year. And I've jumped on the Detroit Pistons bandwagon, who I'm really, really liking only for their strategy and their style of play, which is like a very defense-first style of play, which I love. But with that said, I mean, if you got me a ticket to go see Britney Spears, if you got me a ticket to go see Lady Gaga, if you got me a ticket to go see Rihanna, you know what I mean? Like, these are people I don't listen to. I don't have an album of. I would never search on my own. I've only heard songs of theirs over the radio because it was on the radio. You know what I mean? These aren't things I would seek out. But if you tell me you can get me a ticket to them and you have a ticket, do you want to go? The answer is yes. The answer is always yes. The answer will always be yes. Just for the fact that that's an experience you might not get again. I could either walk out of that place going, man, she's an okay artist, but she really needs to get it together on this. Or I could walk, more than likely what would happen is I would walk out of that arena going, man, I need to buy more Rihanna albums. That blew my mind. And I know that's exactly what it would be. But that's why you don't turn down the experience, right? Even though she's not someone I would seek out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they say, hey, do you want to go to the Mavs game? And I go through this whole kind of spiel in my head. I'm like, well, I shouldn't support them. But yes, absolutely, I want to go to the Mavs game. So, and I'm going to give you guys a little secret, and I might, I shouldn't, just because I feel like this is kind of a strategy that's become over the past year with me and my friends. And I'm not saying we're original in this. I'm sure there's plenty of other groups who have thought of this before too. But what we did was just the smartest thing ever. We all got $12 tickets. I did actually go see my seat. I went and sat in my seat for like less than 2 minutes until me and my friend that were there in those seats was like, screw this, dude. Let's go down to the bar and watch the game on the TV. So that's the idea. Get into the stadium super cheap. Sit at the bar the whole time. You're in the stadium with your friends watching the game, booing or cheering, whatever it may be. I didn't boo the Mavericks at all. It actually, I can't even lie on this one. It turned out to be a phenomenal game. It was a phenomenal game. I mean, fourth quarter ended at 126 points to 126 points and headed into overtime for more points. I mean, I don't care what Mavericks fan I am or I am not. That's a good fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, that's high scoring. Stakes were high. I mean, it looked like the Mavericks were going to lose at one point, and then they came back and tied it, and then they actually got ahead, and then the other team came back and tied it. So pushing it to overtime, it was honestly just a great freaking game. I can't even lie, even though I'm not a Mavericks supporter right now. So anyways, we do that whole thing. We have a great time. I go back to my hotel room for the night. And as always, I didn't drink and drive. I got an Uber. We got Ubers, we got Lyfts, whatever. We're not stupid. You know what I mean? Like, this is how you handle it as an adult. Tiger, Justin, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying I'm better than you. Clearly, you've made more dollars than I could probably even shake a stick at. But yeah, so go back to the hotel room, get something to eat on the way back, go to sleep for the night, wake up the next day, and, do it all again. You got to be down at the convention. You got to talk to people, shake hands, and smile, and, tell them about products and all this and that. It was great. The convention, I will tell you the the error I made, though. And I think I pretty much had my coworkers just laughing at me, which I was laughing at me too. But I went down to the convention in a full-on suit, you guys, the first day, which actually was Tuesday. I'm leaving out a portion. The first day of the convention was Tuesday. The first night of the convention was the party that we threw, which was, let me just throw this. I didn't even think about talking about this. One of my favorite bands that I just saw perform at this opening night party of the convention is called 1100 Springs. Their most notable album came out on State Fair Records, which is a local record company. Go check them out. They have a lot of these, a lot of this style bands on the label, which I would say, and I don't mean this to be insulting if I'm getting the categories wrong, but I would say is a little more folky, bluegrass, country even. So yeah, the first night, the party, 1100 Springs plays, and me with country, like, I like country and I respect country, and I grew up on country. I mean, it was inevitable. It was played everywhere. Garth Brooks, watching him on HBO swing across the stage on a rope was one of the most incredible performances I've ever seen in my life. And I wasn't even there live. When the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes and it's fucking raining on stage, like, that was just unbelievable, man. That was incredible. So anyways, not a huge fan of country, but this band, guys, I am not blowing smoke here. This is one of my favorite bands now. After watching that performance, dude, they had the steel guitar going. They had the lead vocalist playing guitar and singing. They had the bass player just walking up and down his bass, like, just doing his thing. The drummer back there just holding it down, keeping it solid. Like, you can tell he's played for some years. The fiddle player, bro. This is what really got me. The fiddle player stole the show to me. He was incredible. He was incredible. He made me want to buy a fiddle. That's how amazing he was. It was great. They were fucking great. And literally, I mean, you got to realize these are people from everywhere. I mean, they're coming to the convention from everywhere, man. I met a guy who was from Argentina, and he was about to get on his 11-hour flight and fly. You know what I mean? So these people are from everywhere, not necessarily accustomed to this Texas-style yeehaw fiddle playing. So, with that said, they would end playing a song, and dude, I was boisterous. I was like clapping loud, whistling, and like, yes! You got like number one super fan. This is the first time I've ever heard him, by the way. I'm acting like the number one super fan after every song, and the fiddle player's like taking off his hat and like nodding to me like, thanks for listening, you know, like acknowledging me that I was acknowledging them. So, I don't care. I'll clap by myself. I do not care. If I like it, I like it. You don't have to like it. But by the end of it, it wasn't just me clapping. The whole room was clapping for him, and people were whistling. And I mean, they got it, man. They really, really got it. And they did bring some of that Southern culture to the convention opening night. So anyways, Tuesday night, that's the Mavs game. I did kind of go backwards out of order there. Went to the Mavs game, had a great time, went back to the hotel, and fell asleep. Got up the next day, went to the convention, shook hands, met people. It was great. And it's the same thing, you know. We're done with the convention for the day. We're ready to blow off some steam. You know, and the way my job works is I would be considered an inside salesperson. I'm more of the person who goes to the office, answers the phones, answers emails, does things around the office. The people I was with are a lot of the outside salespeople. These are the people getting on planes. These are the people flying certain places to, you know, meet with people or troubleshoot items or, you know, whatever it may be. So it's a whole team dynamic, but I don't really get to see their world until like a convention like this. And yes, it was here locally. And no, I didn't stay in my home, you know, for the convention. I had a hotel room every night the convention was there. But I didn't do it right. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if they would have said this convention is in Atlanta, Chris, and we need you to go, I would have completely packed an entire different way than what I did at the one in Dallas. The one in Dallas makes me feel like, oh, well, my home's only 20 minutes away. I could drive back there if I forget something. No big deal. Well, you don't really think about it in the moment, but that's just not convenient when you've got things going on and you're already in the moment. So, for example, my dumbass, I got everything. I had a full-blown suit with me. Nice shoes, nice belt, cufflinks, jewelry. I had everything, you know, and I left my fucking socks at home. So, after Monday night, you know, the party and everything, I have my pair of socks that I wore there, but then I'm like, shit, I don't have any socks to wear tomorrow. What do I do? And it's like, the more I start thinking about it, it's like, yes, I could take an Uber home to make it easier, take an Uber home, take it back, because like I said, I'd already been drinking. I'm not driving at this point. I can't drive home to get my own socks. So I could take an Uber back, get my socks, and come. I'm like, I'm going to spend $60 on Ubers for like 3-4 pairs of business socks. It's like, that's not even worth it. So I hoofed it the next morning. I woke up, I got down to the gift shop, and I had to just buy the most off-colored, not meant to go with a suit socks that I could find, you know? So I ended up spending probably a good $40 just on the socks alone, because, you know, when they get you in these hotels and these conventions and stuff, nothing there is cheap. Drinks are expensive, food's expensive, gift shop is expensive. Dude, I was looking for a shirt just to have an extra shirt, and I brought it was just like, what's that, Under Armour material? It was like that material, but it was like a collared shirt. It was black, with kind of a nice pattern on it. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I like it. Yeah, I might pick this up to just wear one to the convention one of these days. Clearly a suit didn't work, dude. I was sweating my ass off. That's what I meant to say earlier. First day of the convention, I was sweating my ass off because I wore a full suit. Not ideal. I definitely had to dress down the next day. So anyways, that's part of me looking for the socks and everything. And I find this shirt. I take it up to the counter, and she scans it, and she goes, for one shirt by itself, she goes $108.95. And I was like, $108? for this shirt? And she said, yes. And I said, no. And I took the shirt back and I got a t-shirt, and that t-shirt was even like $40 by itself. I'm like, at least it ain't $100. You know what I mean? Like, I'll deal with the t-shirt, that's fine, but I'm not spending $100 on one shirt. That it wasn't even. Oh, I think it actually was. No. The t-shirt I ended up getting was an Under Armour shirt. The collared shirt, I can't remember who made it. It was like, unless this is plated with gold, I'm not paying $108 for one single shirt. I understand that's how they get people, but yeah, I'm not doing it. You know, I'd Uber to Walmart before I would do that. You know what I mean? So anyways, second night, yeah, we go to the Mavs game. That was fun. Same thing. Get back to the hotel room super duper late, because this is part of it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just go out for 30 minutes with a client and be like, all right, see you guys later. I hope you have a good. No, it's not that. You don't do that. You take them out, you know, you show them a good time. They're not from here. You know, they don't know what to go do. So anyway, second night, we go see the Stars game. Same thing. As cheap of tickets as possible. Get into the game. And you're sitting in the bar with a group of friends the entire time, laughing, goofing off, having fun. I gotta say, I did smoke a couple of cigarettes over this course of a few days, and my throat and body were not happy about that. But anyways, third night, this is the final night of the convention when we go to the Stars game. We get this, I thought he was an Uber at first, but we get this taxi driver, his name is John, and he was awesome. We're just sitting there on the way to the Stars game, he's the one that picked us up on the way back from the Stars game, but we had to go back to the hotel room. Some people were leaving, you know, whatever. We all had to basically go back to the hotel. And so he takes us there, and we're like, hang on for just a minute. Let us go drop a couple of things off from the game. We had like merch and stuff. Let us go drop in the room. We're not done for the night. And he's like, okay, no big deal, you know. So we get back in the car, and we're thinking of the next thing to do, which is going to the dueling piano bar. And I'm just kind of goofing off. You know, I do this with every Uber driver. You know, I just kind of ask them, hey, you know, if you wanted to come with us, well, you know, if you're like, I'm done working for tonight, would you come with us into the dueling piano bar and all this and that? And dude said, yes, I have his card in my wallet right now. His name's John. He's a very nice guy. And if I called John right now to be like, hey, I need a ride to go here, he would come do it. But not only that, he actually went to the places with us. You know what I mean? Like, after we met, he didn't get to go to the Stars game because we didn't know him yet. But he came and picked us up after that, and he went to the places with us. He went inside. He went and parked his car, came inside, hung out with us, sat with us. He wouldn't take a drink, obviously, because he's the one driving. He's like, no, I can't drink. You know, I'm driving. And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. But, you know, he's the one driving us, but he's chilling with us. So we're hanging out with him. We're talking to him, and we're like on to the next place. And we get back in the car. Dude, it was awesome. It was like the way I felt waking up the next morning was like The Hangover, except there weren't tigers in the bathroom, and there weren't chickens running around, and we weren't missing teeth. And we didn't get the Mike Tyson tattoo on her face. It was like light version of that. You know what I mean? Like, it was the wholesome version of that. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got in a fight. You know, nobody got in a wreck, because we're not letting anybody drive, thankfully. And John was responsible, being like, no, I'm not going to do it. You know, I can't drink. And we're like, oh, shit, yeah, that's true. But it was so fun, dude. It was so damn fun. I mean, the dueling piano bar, I'm addicted now. I'm addicted. The musicianship in that place was incredible. And, you know, you're not going to hear... They're not going to play Gorilla Biscuits. They're not going to play Terror. They're not going to play Madball. They're playing the radio hits. You're going to hear Journey. You're going to hear AC/DC. You're going to hear... I loved it when the chick did the ODB. Old dirty bastard. I like shimmy shimmy y'all shimmy yeah shimmy. You know, when she did that, it was awesome. She's like, oh baby, I like it raw. Oh baby, I like it raw. Oh man, the way she was shaking her head, it was fucking. But it's that. It's like the perfect mix of everything. It's comedy, it's music, it's crowd participation, because these musicians, they won't sing the whole song. They want the audience to participate or the song stops. If they go, don't stop, they'll stop the music right there. So if the crowd is going to go, believe in, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to do that, the song's over, where you guys aren't even paying attention. What are we doing here? You know, it was just so much fun. And then to take it another step, after the convention, I took my friend BB down to the piano bar 2 nights in a row, and we had a blast. If you don't remember BB, she's on probably about a handful of Drink Until You podcast episodes early on. I would say episode 14, she's in the 2-digit episodes. Episode 14 to like maybe 40. She's in a couple of those. And we're the same goofy people we were back then, let me tell you. We had a blast. We were laughing the whole time, singing. It was this girl's birthday that was there. We bought her shots. You know, like there was another couple that was there. We start talking to them, you know, and just the chick. There's a guy and a girl that were there together that we, you know, eventually started chatting up just through having such a great time. And the chick took off her bra to give to the female piano player while she was playing these songs, and she put it on top of her head. It was silly. It was goofy. It was wholesome. It was fun. But yeah, I mean, like if I could encompass this podcast into an event, like how the event is supposed to go. It's supposed to be fun. Yes, it's supposed to be safe. Yes, don't drink and drive. You know, with a little bit of with a little bit of booze mixed in there. I mixed the word mix and booze. I said moose. With a little bit of booze mixed in there. That's what this podcast is. It's about having fun, having a good time, but just doing it to where you don't fuck your life up. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's simple, but it can be super fun. And it was a great time. I'm ready for the next convention here, dude. Like, it was. And here's the thing. Like, to be honest with you, my personality, I'm not very outgoing. You know what I mean? I am a bit of a recluse. I like to be by myself. I can be by myself. I like to think and read and write and, you know, talk out loud even to myself. You know what I mean? To like work through whatever the idea may be going on in my life. But it takes a lot to break me out of that. And this convention, yeah, it created the itch. Now I've got the itch for the next convention to come back. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be my, you know, where I'm at. I'm supposed to be the one that's like, no, I don't want to do that all the time. It drains me. I can't small talk with people all the time. It's so draining. I prefer my desk and blah, 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 blah. Well, now I'm like, holy shit, that was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do that again. You know, and it's not just about, it's literally about showing the people that you have the potential to work with a good time in your city. You know what I mean? Like, that way when they're like, oh shit, just like I'm thinking I can't wait for the next convention in Dallas. Hopefully those guys from Idaho or Wichita or, you know, wherever they're from, California, hopefully they're thinking the same thing. You know what I mean? I can't wait till it's back in Dallas again. Those guys are fun, you know, and it's not just me. I'm not like taking all the credit or anything like I was the most fun. It's my team. We are all the most fun. You know what I mean? And then you put us together, dude. It was just a great, wholesome, fun. I don't want to say family-friendly time. I wouldn't recommend... No, I wouldn't recommend that. But it was a good, wholesome, adult bonding time, and I had a blast. So let's take another drink. Cheers, everybody. It took so damn long to even just describe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that I'm out of time for other topics. Let's see. Just so you know, the Mavericks did lose that game I went to, and the Stars did lose that next night, the game I went to. So that was not fun. What else? Mikko Rantanen is back. Speaking of Mikko Rantanen, I did another AEW wrestling simulation, and that is versus Mikko Rantanen and Patrick Waugh. If you don't know the story as to why I may have made something like that, just go look up this season Dallas Stars playing the New York Islanders, and you'll figure out kind of the drama around it. But I made a fun simulation, and I created these characters, and I built them as close as I could to their actual personality, their height, their weight, even their birthplace. You know what I mean? Both of them had, as their weapon of choice, were both hockey sticks, of course, both hockey players. Mikko Rantanen wearing the helmet because he's still an active player. Patrick Waugh is not wearing a helmet because he's technically isn't a player anymore. He is now a coach. I was going to put him in a suit, but I decided against it. I kind of like the onesie, the leotard thing. I put both of them in. And those just signify what team they are currently backing, which Mikko gets the victory green. Patrick Waugh gets the New York Islanders blue with, he had orange wristbands on, you know what I mean? So anyways, go check that out on my YouTube page. What else? Oh, okay. Last thing before I go here. I just got to say, man, that UFC event was phenomenal. The Adesanya fight was great. Pyfer wins that one by KO/TKO. But I got to say, they were not. I'll tell you the two fights of the night for me. And I'll start. One of them was on the prelim card. What is her name? O'Neal versus Fernandez. O'Neal wins that one by KO/TKO. Dude, these women, I wish I just had more time to praise the women of the UFC. But let me do it in the limited time I have left. The women in the UFC are so fucking exciting. Not every fight, and of course, the men have those fights too that just weren't great. But these women have come so far. They have, O'Neal's footwork and her, just her boxing, the way she started tagging Fernandez to end the fight. You could have put Pereira in her place. You know what I mean? You could have put Chuck Liddell in her place. She's using the same techniques and employing them damn near perfectly. And it's deadly, and it shows. She knocked that chick out. I was just, blown away. I was like, holy shit. Not to say, and it seems like I'm kind of being an asshole, but not to say I didn't think they could do it, but I am noticing the high level these women are getting to. It's incredible, man. For her to knock another chick out like that, it was just, I can't even explain it. I just keep saying incredible. It really was. But the more incredible one was the co-main event between Grasso and Barber. Holy shit, dude. And it wasn't even something that no one's ever done before. It was more of the way that it happened really blew me away. So Grasso wins in the first round. So obviously it didn't last long. It was 2:42 into the first round. But Grasso tags Barber, and Barber she doesn't know. Grasso doesn't know Barber is pretty much just out. Barber falls down with facing away from Grasso onto her butt. Grasso throws another punch, hits her in the head, and the way Grasso fell into the body triangle / rear naked choke it was one of the most top level athletic things I've ever seen live on TV. Let me just say it that way. It was one of the most top level things I've ever seen on TV. One of them. Not, it's not, doesn't take the cake, but it was one of the most highest level moves I've ever seen. She tagged her. Yes. She rocked her. Yes. Actually, Barber was faced away from Grasso, so Grasso couldn't see the look on Barber's face. If from our angle, the audience's angle that was watching from home, we could all tell Barber was out. The Barber was, for lack of a better term, dead to the world. You know what I mean? But Grasso didn't know that. And what did Grasso do? Grasso fell down to her level, pulled her back into a perfect rear naked choke. She didn't even have to choke her. She fell into the technique so fast. I think the ref almost had a heart attack that she's about to kill this chick, and not purposefully, but this is the fight game, dude. You don't stop until the other person stops, or you don't stop until that ref says it's over. It doesn't matter if you've rocked her. It doesn't matter if she's fallen down. It doesn't matter if you're slapping her with a few more punches, but that's what it was. The fact that Grasso fell down onto the mat into form immediately. It's like, I got her rocked, now end it. That muscle memory that kicked in for her, that instinct to almost ragdoll her into that position, even though, she didn't have to ragdoll her, but she didn't know. She didn't know Barber was out to that point. It's like the second she pulled Barber's head back and wrapped her legs around in that body triangle, the ref was like, that's enough, it's over, it's over, it's over. But it was just... I don't even know how to describe it, you guys. It was, that's it. What I just said earlier was one of the most high-level things I've ever seen on TV before in my life. So believe me when I tell you, these women in the UFC, it's not going unnoticed, man. You guys are... Those were the most two exciting fights out of the entire card of predominantly male fighters. I'm not saying I didn't like any of the male fights. I did. There were some good ones in there. Malik versus, I don't know how to say it, Belgowri. That was a great one, but dude, I can't remember when I've ever in my life said the two women's fight on the card beat the men's fight, in my opinion. I know that doesn't go for everybody, but in my opinion, those were the best fights on the card. One being a prelim, the other being a co-main event. What does that tell me? That shows me a pattern of these bitches ain't fucking playing, boy. And that was some of the meanest fucking fighting I've ever seen in my life. And it was brutal. It was legal. And they got the victory. It was go back and watch that, dude. I'm not exaggerating. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how well, not only did she knocked her lights out when she hit her. She didn't realize that yet, but the way she hit her, she already knocked her lights out. The way she fell into the form, oh my God, just beautiful. It was absolute cinema. And I'm here for it, dude. You better believe. Just like I'm looking for the next convention to come here in Dallas, I am looking for that next women's fight. Because who was that chick a couple of weeks ago? She was only like 21 years old. And she beat the chick that she was fighting, who was like in her 30s or something, who has experience, all this and that. But this chick at 21, I really wish I could remember her name to shout her out. She's a Hispanic chick. This chick at 21 is performing at the highest level in fighting in mixed martial arts. In my opinion, that's insane to me. The amount of discipline that goes into that, the amount of repetition that goes into that, the amount of dieting that goes into that, the amount of psychological effort that goes into that. To know if you get punched, it's not over. If you get knocked down, it's not over. If you get busted open, it's not over. Keep moving forward. Damn, dude. Damn. It is fucking awesome. So anyways, with that said, it's almost been 40 minutes. Let's go ahead and have our last drinks. If you got them, drink them, bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all next week. As always, treat yourself to an Uber, treat yourself to a Lyft, treat yourself to a Waymo, treat yourself to a DoorDash, Tiger Woods. And just don't drink and drive. Be safe out there. I love you all. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.